Tonight, a KGW investigation. You've heard about the shootings, the murders, and the communities affected by gang violence in our area. But what's funding it? How are gangs making their money?
If you guess drugs, that would be appropriate, but you're wrong. Catherine Cook has been investigating this for months. And Catherine, you've uncovered a deepening connection between gangs and prostitution.
And Tracy, what began as a gang connection has quickly and discreetly turned into gang domination of Portland's sex trafficking industry. Police say that nearly every pimp they deal with has some kind of a gang connection, and the money they're making off teenage girls is pouring in from Lake Oswego to Gresham, where suburban Johns have no idea they are paying for the guns on our streets.
Lay dying on Northeast 18th Avenue. Do-rag shot by Bloods.
And Portland had a serious gang problem.
Gangs in Portland are nothing new.
Someone shot and killed.
More shootings.
It's a little unnerving.
Decades of shootings, tears, retaliation. On the surface, nothing's changed. But go underground.
This is a big problem.
And you'll see.
Sex sells.
Where drug sales once funded gangs.
Gang members have come to realize there's a lot of money to be made in prostitution.
And police say they're making it in the millions.
That's how they buy guns. That's how they buy cars.
Sarah, not her real name, is a gang-affiliated prostitute.
It's an underground society.
We've disguised her voice and identity to protect her. She doesn't have a pimp now, but she knows how they work.
They're smart, and they're usually cute and charming.
She wants to expose what they're doing.
Women get raped, beaten, dragged. I mean, even just like if another pimp talks to you and you don't put your head down, you're considered out of pocket. That's part of the game, though. You're not considered a person anymore. You're considered property.
Mafia is the pimp's name. Loyalty to the game, loyalty to prostitution, loyalty to the pimp.
Officer Mike Gallagher is with the Portland Police Bureau's prostitution coordination team.
It's not, pretty women out there like it is in the movies. It's pretty horrific.
He says young victims of prostitution are brainwashed, vulnerable, and see their gang member pimps as boyfriends.
I know of pimps that are, 17, 18 years old that are out there recruiting now.
He says many victims wear these branding tattoos with pride.
Every time you look in the mirror, you're seeing that name, and it reminds you that you're property of whatever that pimp is that you're working for.
Gallagher says the connection between gangs and prostitution is new, destructive, and relatively unknown.
Traffickers, pimps.
He says nearly every convicted pimp on this wall has a gang tie.
I didn't see it 15 years ago.
Back then, Gallagher says gang members were still trading money and drugs on street corners. But things changed.
Drugs are getting expensive. You have to spend money to make money. Prostitution is, you don't have to spend anything.
Pimps see their victims as cheap collateral. As for the Johns who paid them for sex, police say they're often married professionals, unarmed, and the last people police say would want to draw attention. In short, they're the perfect marks who don't realize or care where their money is really going.
As long as he got what he wanted and he's satisfied, what does he care what? If the money he just gave to this girl goes and buys a gun and is connected to a homicide.
And police say that's exactly what's happening.
I think the violence is going to pick up.
And it doesn't stop on 82nd Avenue or online.
It's not a Portland thing. It's Lake Oswego, it's Tigard, it's Vancouver, it's Salem, it's Eugene. And the gangs are involved in all of that.
But now their secret is out.
Hey, Ivan, and all the new recruits in the academy. Hope all is well. Ivan asked me to pass on a few words of wisdom from a cop who has 23 years on the street. First off, I want you to ask questions, not only to the other officers you're working with, but to the people you encounter out there. Ask lots of questions. Don't be afraid to ask the other officers for help when you need it. But when you're asking questions out on the street, the other piece of advice I have to give you is to listen. Listen to what they're having to say, not what they tell you, but listen how they're saying it and what they mean by what they're telling you. It's very important to move beyond the answers that they're giving you and find out what's behind those answers. Lastly, the word of advice I tell all the recruits I've ever had is to trust their instincts. That's what's going to save your ass when the shit hits the fan. Doing something when the hair on the back of your neck is standing up. Taking those actions that need to be taken and not questioning what your instincts are telling you to do. Lastly, be safe, take care of your brothers out there, and take care of each other. Hope all is well and you do well in the rest of the academy.